accomplished pitcher to come to the major leagues from Japan. Tonight we will watch perhaps the most hyped prospect. Roki Sasaki garnered the nickname Reiwa no Kaibutsu. It translates into, the monster of the Reiwa era. Basically a once-in-a-generation talent. And tonight we'll see that talent on a once-in-a-lifetime stage, making his big league debut in Dodger blue in his home country.
It's going to be a spectacular night, so let's get up to you guys, Joe and EK.
All right, Kirsten and Steven, they won the last game of 2024. They won the first game of 2025 and looking for a mini sweep to get this season rolling. Dodgers and Cubs coming up.
Performed really well and helped the Dodgers to get that Game 1 victory.
Yeah, I mean, these two are two of the biggest stars Japan has ever seen, and they both know what it takes to calm those nerves. But, yeah, they are going to feel the nerves when they get out there, but once they get in the flow, they're going to calm down. You see Shohei first at bat, come off the ball a little bit, overswing a little bit, hit that ground ball. But after that, he's settled. You see Yamamoto goes out there, and he was lights out from the beginning. But he just did an incredible job in controlling his nerves, his emotions right away. But, I mean, this is like, you know, everything for these guys. And I just can't, I'm so excited to see the entire country behind these guys and just really, really, you know, see
in his body right now.
I think this helps him. I remember when I was first coming up, playing in different environments, I would be like, tell myself, it's just like back home. Let's say if I'm in New York where it's cold or Boston where it's cold, I would tell myself, hey, I grew up in Chicago in a cold environment. Kind of trick myself. He's literally home. He's pitched in this environment before, pitched on that mound, so it should help him go out there and do his thing. But listen, no matter what, rookie, 10-year, 15-year vet, you're going to have your nerves. He understands pitching in big games before, pitching for Team Japan in the WBC. Nerves are a part of it. He gets through that first inning, he'll roll.
Yeah, a lot of pitchers talk about that background and being comfortable with the background behind home plate because that's kind of what helps him hone in. He's pitched in this background. He knows what this background feels like, and that is a huge factor when it comes to how you see the catcher, how you're able to command your pitches, because that makes you feel comfortable. And obviously, he's done a great job on this mound before. He's had big games, so, he's going to be just fine.
All right, Insomniacs, rejoice. We've got live baseball coming up right after the break.
Where do you find the soul?
This experience amazing. And by Carl's Jr. Each burger flavor is a charbroiled legend. Never settle for a boring burger again. What a week this has been in Tokyo, Japan. Shohei Ohtani everywhere, all the rage. We're all set at the Tokyo Dome for Game 2 of this mini-series between the Dodgers and the Cubs to get the regular season started. And Ohtani, as he always seems to do, delivered in the first game last night. He was the only player with multiple hits in the game, going 2 for 5. He scored a pair of runs as the Dodgers won 4-1, getting 3 runs in the 5th inning, 1 run in the 9th. Ohtani was good at the plate, and the pitching really stole the show with the 5 innings from Yamamoto. The bullpen, 4 scoreless innings, 4 different pitchers, just 1 base runner against the group, and a chance tonight, EK, to sweep this 2-game set.
Yeah, they really set the tone last night. A little bit of offense, some great pitching, and it wasn't an overwhelming, dominant offense, but what it was is it was productive. They garnered some walks, they got the key base hits, and on defense they played well. It was really a complete ball game, setting it up for this evening and setting it up for Sasaki. I'm looking for fireworks tonight.
Yeah. You've been saying that, of course, you're excited to come watch Ohtani and Yamamoto and see everything, but Sasaki's debut, let alone making it here, pretty awesome.
Well, and because he's also, this is a power guy, the fastball could be 100 miles an hour. The splitter could be 98, 99 miles an hour. I just think that the buildup and the expectations, what this kid could be, mean, we might see the beginning of it tonight.
Got a great hand from the crowd, as Ohtani, of course, did. And really can see what this all means to Japan to have Shohei here. But what about what this all means to Shohei to be here? Dave Roberts said during the anthem last night, he glanced over at Shohei, and it was as emotional as he's seen him in his year plus with him. And Shohei even said when he stepped into the batter's box for his first at-bat, I was nervous. I can't think of the last time I was nervous, he said. But all of this, everything this means to him and to this country, had those butterflies stirring. But, per usual, managed to harness the emotions with a 2-hit game in the 4-1 win. Off we go in game 2 as Ohtani sends the first pitch in the air to left field. Happ goes back onto the track to put it away. Put a scare into it and put a thrill into this crowd. Nearly leaving the yard on the first pitch of the game.
Man, we didn't even have a chance to sit down and get buckled up for the ball game here.
Yeah, I would say folks weren't even settled into their seats, but they were at about 4:30, right. So that would have been a lot. Up there near the Tokyo Dome roof, which he once punctured with a home run. And Tommy Edman takes strike 1 from Steele. Dodgers have their hands full in this game, as they did yesterday with Shota Imanaga with the 4 no-hit innings. Steele's another all-star caliber pitcher. In fact, the last 2 years, the only guy in the National League with a better ERA than Justin Steele is Blake Snell.
Yeah, he's been real good. 2 years ago, finished 5th in the Cy Young Award. And you look at those numbers last year, you could argue that his numbers outside of the win-loss were better last season. Hurt for a little bit, didn't have the number of starts.
I mean, really a 2-pitch guy. I mean, he's got 60% fastball, 30% slider, but he'll change how he throws each one of those pitches, and it feels like more of a variety.
Well, and I see you take a look right there, and it's very similar to Imanaga in that he works the top of the zone with the fastball, and then his breaking pitches, the slider, works down, changes eye level, and will pound the right-handed hitter's glove side.
Gets a chase and a high fastball and strikes out Tommy Edman. You know what you're going to get. It's going to be a fastball or a slider. You can be pretty sure it's going to be a strike. He was in the zone more than any pitcher in baseball last year. But he just induces weak contact. And hitters talk about feeling comfortable, but then being like, what the heck? That was nowhere close to the barrel.
Yeah, you've got some movement on the baseball. And again, as you mentioned, very tough to square up.
He retires the first 2 Dodgers, and up comes Teoscar Hernandez, who last season had a wonderful year by just about every measure. But the one thing that he said, 99 runs batted in. He got 100 yesterday. Can you roll it over? You got 100 as a Dodger now.
And he had some opportunities, especially near the end of the season. And I know it's just 1 RBI, but man, on the back of that baseball card, 100 looks a lot better than 99.
Swinging bunt, rolled along first. Carson Kelly to finish off a 1-2-3 first inning. Just 8 pitches for Justin Steele. So the Major League career for Roki Sasaki begins when you come back. top of the first. Cubs come to bat against Roki Sasaki. And the Japan and Dodger connection continues, starting with Hideo Nomo, 1995. Otani, Yamamoto, now Sasaki, the 13th Japanese-born Dodger, making his major league debut. Ian Happ climbs in to face him. Sasaki throws. 100, a little bit low. If warm-ups were any indication, EK, he's going to have to harness those butterflies because he was all over the place. So much so that Austin Barnes, who caught the warm-ups, walked off with a smile on his face like, oh my gosh. That's better.
And I'll tell you, if you're a right-handed hitter for the Cubs, you might want to think about hitting lefty tonight because, as you mentioned, those are warm-ups. Oh, but look at throwing 2 pitches. I mean, just missed the first one. That one a strike, so maybe he's just setting everybody up.
And 100 again, fly to left field. There's Michael Conforto for the first out, and an exhale from Sasaki, who's been dreaming of this day for a long time. 23 years old at Rikuzen Takata. It's a small fishing village on Japan's northeast coast. Watching closely today, having a viewing party there. He's got an official fan club back in Takata. 4 seasons in Japan, dominant. ERA around 2, had a perfect game in his time there. Delivers to Seiya Suzuki, and downstairs with 101. Decided to come to the big leagues similar to Otani before he was eligible to make riches. He comes over and signs essentially a minor league contract, wanting to test himself against the best in the world, not wanting to wait around just for the dollars. 2-0. Chose the Dodgers over the Padres ultimately. He wears 11 because of his boyhood hero, Yu Darvish, and that was part of the appeal with San Diego, the chance to link up with him. Decided, though, you got the Dodgers, who world champion and Japan's team at this point. But the big thing, EK, that he talked about was the player development reputation, because he says, I've achieved so little at this point. He knows he's still a work in progress and can really benefit from what the Dodgers have when it comes to player development.
Well, that was one of the things when he went through the interview process with other ball clubs and the Dodgers. He asked them to evaluate him and what did they see and how could they help him. Felt the Dodgers offered that best opportunity.
Count has gone full on Suzuki.
I mean, you figure if you're the Dodgers too, you're getting a guy that has immense talent and really hasn't been exposed to all the resources the Dodgers have.
Got him swinging. The first strikeout of Roki Sasaki's major league career is of Seiya Suzuki. And a nice feather in his cap right there, getting his countrymen.
I mean, as hard as he throws as a hitter, you're going to have to get him down in the zone. This thing up, just not going to catch up to it, especially when you're throwing 100 miles an hour.
Two up and 2 down, and it's Kyle Tucker. 1 ball, no strikes. Tucker 0 for 4 in his Cubs debut yesterday. Who wasn't, though? Cubs managed just 3 hits and went 0 for their last 21 in the game.
Yeah, the only time they reached base was that hit by pitch, I believe. And
yeah.
Just the offense was anemic. I don't know. Was the offense anemic or was the Dodger pitching that good?
Yeah. A little bit of both. 5 pitchers combining to hold him to that. That one's turned around, but got under it. And in center field, Andy Pages will make this a 1-2-3 debut inning for Sasaki. Sasaki felt going to sleep last night, waking up this morning. Those butterflies had to feel like you consider everything that's going on today for him, and you see the exhale after the 1-2-3 first inning. He's officially a big leaguer. No score. Top 2, Will Smith, the leadoff for the Dodgers. Coming off a productive first game, reached 4 times last night, including a career-high 3 walks. He's ahead of Steele, 2-0. There are a couple Dodgers, Smith and Muncy in particular, who they were up there for half the night. Will Smith saw 29 pitches in his 5 plate appearances. Max Muncy saw 32. This was the RBI single that Smith contributed.
Yeah, nice to see Will Smith get out of the gate. As you mentioned, had a nice evening last night. But again, the Dodgers, I think they drew 8 walks. And just for them to work the pitchers and make them toil, it's that wears you out. You don't have to be banging the ball all over the park. Don't have to hit it out.
On 3-1, Will Smith takes ball 4. He's got a leadoff walk, and the Dodgers have their first base runner. Shohei greeting Sasaki.
Yeah, I'm going back to those warm-up pitches. I'm wondering if he was just setting everybody up.
Yeah.
You know, just playing possum out there.
Kind of a microcosm of his spring, right? Because it was not great first couple bullpens and throwing in the backfields, throwing against some White Sox minor leaguers. One of the first hitters that he faced took him deep.
Yeah, Kyle Teal.
Yeah. Muncy takes the ball 1-1, and then he shows up when it, relatively speaking, matters in spring training in the games, and he's a different guy. He looks like the guy that came as advertised as the top prospect in baseball. Muncy rips this ball deep to the right field corner, and it short hops the wall. Smith stops at third on a double from Muncy. Dodgers in business in the second.
Watching Munch again, stepping back with that back foot, getting that bat head out. Keep saying it. You get a full season of Max Muncy, what he's going to mean to this offense as compared to last year. Going to do wonders.
Second and third for Kike Hernandez. And a wild pitch that allows the first run to come in. Will Smith in to score. Dodgers on the board first. And it's actually ruled a pass ball.
Yeah.
An ignominious start to Carson Kelly's time with the Cubs. His second defensive inning. Eesh.
I mean, that was borderline strike, and you see him trying to pull it back over the plate. Tried to pull it too quick, didn't have it.
Fly to center field. Hernandez to Crow Armstrong. Here comes Muncy. He throws up the line, and it's 2-0. Hernandez with his first run batted into the season. You know, Dodgers didn't hit a home run yesterday. You mentioned the 8 walks. There were several instances like that, though, of moving runners up, productive outs, team baseball. They take advantage of the situation right here with a sac fly from Hernandez. Brand of baseball, it's always been appreciated in this part of the world. Conforto takes a strike.
Well, and to take it a step further, the Cubs have been sloppy, and they're a team that allegedly is going to be a good defensive ball club. Last night, sloppy. Early on, sloppy, and it's cost them.
Conforto with a smash down the line foul. Conforto in his first game with the Dodgers hit a double. It was a last-minute addition to the lineup with the trickle down of Freddie Freeman being out. As Kirsten and Steven told you, Freddie pushed to be in there again today, but they're deciding to rest a little bit and win the war. Rest the battle, win the war. Base hit into center for Conforto.
How about Conforto thinking he's going to probably, you know, just get to watch a little bit, maybe a pinch hit appearance, and then What do you know? 2 starts, already 2 base hits.
Couple hits and a walk in this inning, and here's Miguel Rojas. Rojas went 1 for 4 in his first game. Up there wearing 72, thanks to the guys starting today's game for the Dodgers in Sasaki. Mentioned that 11's a special number to Roki because that's Yu Darvish's number. And so Rojas gave up 11 and puts on the jersey that he wore when he got to the majors. 2014, debuted wearing 72. Came in as a defensive replacement. First ball hit to him. Committed an error. He said he didn't sleep that night. Less than 2 weeks later, though, he's playing third base during Kershaw's no-hitter with the web gems that you always see as part of those highlights. Now a decade later into a fabulous major league career. Saying that he hopes putting 72 back on brings a little youth to him. On this 1-2, Rojas fights it off to second. Birdie's there, flips to second for 1, swats into first, a double play. Dodgers get the first 2 runs of the game, though. Rookie Sasaki goes back to work after this. Flying by to 200 miles per hour. A 1-2-3 debut inning for Roki Sasaki. Michael Busch to lead off this second for the Cubs. One fades away, ball 1 on the former Dodger Busch. 0 for 3 in the first game yesterday. So we've seen the fastball, we've seen that triple digits from Sasaki. You hear about that. You hear about the splitter. Big thing will be that third pitch over time. How does he develop that? It's a slider, but what exactly does that look like when it's a finished product? He misses with the first few here, 3-0. Because you've seen guys come highly touted with good fastballs and good off-speed pitches like a splitter and struggle. Major league hitters say, yeah, that ain't enough to get me. So the progress of that third pitch, a big deal for him. It's all fastballs here, all balls, and a leadoff walk for Busch.
Also some discussion too, he could throw a variation of that splitter, right? Maybe, you know, not as hard or trying to make it do something. But you're right, it's going to be imperative that he develops a third pitch.
Matt Shaw, who preceded Sasaki to the big leagues by 1 day, going 0 for 4 yesterday in his debut. Fastball down the middle, shot down the line, and foul. You're talking about Sasaki talking to the teams that were chatting with him during free agency, really turning the tables and saying, hey, I want your opinion. Tell me why my velocity dropped last year. So then teams at that point were put into an interesting situation where they had to decide how much information to divulge, not knowing if he was going to come to them or not. And the Dodgers' thought on that was, hey, if we've got any chance to get this guy, we'll share any secrets that we've got. And so they pointed out some changes they saw to his delivery. They think probably snowballing from some injuries that he dealt with. The other thing that they shared was we'd be able to flag those things a lot faster. Basically in real time, as your delivery is getting out of sync, we're going to be able to see that and not let it get completely out of whack. There is the splitter. One-of-a-kind pitch. There is no splitter in baseball that spins less, and that's the idea with a pitch like that. You want to kill the spin or drops more. Shaw to short, caught by Rojas. That pitch on average, the splitter, drops 3.5 feet.
I mean, as a hitter, all you can do with that is basically let it go. You're not going to hit it or hope that it's bad and it just hangs. If you're up there trying to defend against that, bad baseball. You know, you've got to go up there ready to hit a fastball, and if he can land that splitter like that, just tip your cap.
Yeah, it backs up here for a ball on Dansby Swanson. A couple other things that make it unique. It moves both ways. Traditional splitter is going to fade arm side. Sometimes his will cut a little bit and look like a slider. He doesn't necessarily know which direction it's going. The catcher certainly doesn't. Overthrows his fastball 2-0. And just to give a little perspective, if you're a numbers kind of person, on the lack of spin on that pitch, how unique it is. The average major league splitter has a 1,300 RPM. His is 540. 2-1 on Swanson.
I mean, it's almost like a knuckleball. I mean, it really is. The explosion, the velocity, though, the arm action. Like I said, as a hitter, you got to sit on the fastball. You can't miss the fastball.
There goes the runner. No throw, and a stolen base for Bush.
You see right there, Bush just had a 4 or 5 step head start.
Runner in scoring position for Swanson, who takes the splitter inside. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks to open this inning. Or 2 walks out of the first 3 hitters, beg your pardon, open this inning. Let's go down to Kirsten.
Thanks, Joel. What you guys were talking about with Roki Sasaki splitter, and I think EK said it really well. A lot of guys say that it kind of looks like a knuckleball. Even pitching coach Connor McGinnis described it as a forkball because of how it just comes out of the hand. Anthony Bonda was talking to the media today, and he said what makes him such a unicorn, one, he has really big hands, and then his delivery point. Then, of course, it's breaking down, left, right. You don't know which way it's going to go. He's actually been toying with a splitter a little bit himself, and he said the pitch that Roki throws, it's impossible to emulate. And so the fact that he's been doing that so consistently for his entire career, that's what makes it so special, guys.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Fastball misses to Crow Armstrong. 2 balls, no strikes. Several guys on this roster either have a splitter or, like Kirsten mentioned, working on a splitter. Nobody splits their fingers wider, though, around that splitter to make it, as Kirsten said, Connor McGinnis mentioned, like a forkball, quite like Sasaki. 2-1. And you can see right there, he drives that ball up between his fingers. No matter what pitch he's going to throw, pitchers will often do that if they have a splitter because that's the hardest grip to get, and it'll be the most obvious to the Cubs. If they're looking in there trying to see, he's got to reach in there and grab that. So start with that one and adjust off it.
I mean, the thing about throwing that is it's so taxing on the forearm. A lot of strain there. And again, as hard as he throws it, that's why he is the unicorn there. It's you just don't see it like that.
Banged to short. It's caught by Rojas. It's a double play, and it ends the inning. So Sasaki, with some help from his shortstop, to pitch around the pair of free passes.
Watch MLB TV and stream 250 plus spring training games and every out-of-market game live or on demand. Plus, stream MLB Network 24/7 for the entire season. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
No, with Ohtani hitting leadoff, there are going to be many nights where the game could swing one way or the other based on what the 9-hitter does. And Andy Pages last night had a good night, turned the lineup over a couple times with a pair of walks to get Ohtani up there.
I mean, he really set the tone for the scoring early on in the game. There was one out. He came up, drew a walk, then Ohtani base hit, Edman base hit, then an error, and 3 runs later. But it's all because Andy Pages set the table by drawing that 1-out walk.
24-year-old center fielder grounds this one foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. First opening day start for him. In there again today with the left-handed Justin Steele. He was the second best Dodger hitter against left-handed pitching last year, only to Oscar Hernandez, a higher on-base plus slugging. At the knees, takes strike 3. Second strikeout for Steele, and here's Ohtani. Ripped the first pitch that he saw, first pitch of the ball game, in the air to deep left field, and it just died shy of the wall. Inside corner for a strike. Tied him up.
Just pounded him in on both pitches. He's got him set up now for that slider. Glove side away. We've seen Ohtani able to cover that pitch, but there it is.
Rolled the first, picked up by Bush, and Ohtani's 0 for 2. 2 up and 2 down in this third inning. Dodgers up 2-0. And the batter is Tommy Edman. Strike one from Steele. That's how he finished off Edman the first time. Ahead 0-2. The 29-year-old from Agricola, Mississippi. Population 346. Finds himself pitching in the largest city in the world, in Tokyo. From 346 people to 37 million.
That's a small high school class.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
right?
346. Wow.
Success story for the Cubs development system. They've had a hard time getting homegrown pitching through the years. He's drafted in 2014. 7 years before he'd make his major league debut. There's Tommy John in there, but he got to the big leagues in 2021. Now in his 5th season, quietly has been excellent. It's gone full on Edman. Cy Young votes 2 years ago, went 16-5. Last year, as you mentioned, slowed a little bit by injuries. In fact, he was their opening day starter last year and had a good game going against Texas, but injured his hamstring and would miss the next month. That ball is crushed in the air to left field. Did he get under it, or did he get enough? He got enough. And it's Tommy Tanks with the first home run in Tokyo. Yeah, the first home run of the 25 campaign comes from 25. Strike one on Teoscar Hernandez. Boy, that was a big-time swing for 2 strikes. Tommy Edman looking like a cleanup man up there.
They tried to go up in the zone, and that's one thing that you don't really want to do against Edman, just because he has the ability to catch up to that pitch high in the strike zone. He's got a relatively level, flat swing. He doesn't get underneath those pitches. That one right there just got the bat right to the ball and shot it down the line.
1-2 on Teoscar Hernandez.
I mean, he basically just beat the ball to the spot. Steele tried to go up and in, and Edman was able to catch it out front. That's not happening if you've got that uppercut swing. No chance.
Tommy Edman's now hit 7 regular season home runs as a Dodger. 5 of them have come against the Cubs. Back-to-back 2 home run games against the Cubs last September. And this home run here in support of Sasaki. Steele strikes out Hernandez, and that'll retire the side. But the Dodgers get a 2-out blast from Tommy Edman. The first home run of this series comes from the Dodgers second baseman. 3-0 as they look for the sweep. ago for the Dodgers. Crushes a left-handed pitcher here for the first home run. And a 3-0 lead as Carson Kelly takes a ball from Sasaki. Kelly's first game as a Cub. Decade in the big leagues now for the longtime Arizona Diamondback. And then he comes over to the Cubs for his first season with them. Bounces this one off the end of the bat to first, and an easy play for Kike Hernandez. Sasaki rolled through that first inning, pitched around a couple walks in the second, and has put up these couple scoreless innings, even though he's below 50% strikes.
Yeah, well, on first pitch strikes, 7 of 8 has been ball one. And you know, again, tonight so far, it hasn't hurt him, but not really something that you want to continue with.
John Birdie comes at him with a fastball. Won't be an easy play with his speed. Muncy, bare hand, nice play, but Birdie runs fast, and he's got an infield hit. We're seeing 99, 100 in that first inning. Since then, down 2 miles per hour as Sasaki takes a breath and settles in.
Max doing a nice job coming in and barehanded. Birdie among the fastest on the field tonight. You mentioned just really not even a play there.
I've seen Birdie flash his speed a couple times in this series. Had a stolen base last night. 1 ball, no strikes on Ian Happ. Always a threat over there. 42 stolen bases a couple years ago in Miami. Sasaki's 1-0. Downstairs, ball 2. Big night for so many people. None bigger than Sasaki, but you think about the Dodgers scouts and executives that for years have been working to try and make Sasaki a Dodger. Culmination of that work. Dodgers scouts first watched him when he was a junior in high school. That's before the whole world was talking about Roki Sasaki as this big time prospect. Years of watching him, years of learning about the person, years of just being present. They just wanted him to see them around. There goes the runner, throw down, not in time, and a stolen base for Birdie. In fact, the last 2 years, the Dodgers had a scout in attendance for every single start that Roki Sasaki made. Not that they still needed to be convinced of anything, but that idea of being there and having that Dodger presence always there. Cubs have had 3 base runners. 2 of them have stolen second. There's a splitter disappearing, diving into the dirt, and the count is full. Look at that.
I mean, it is something, but also as a hitter, it's 3-1 right there. I mean, I'm just sitting on a fastball, and that wasn't even a competitive pitch.
He took this one for ball 4. First and second one away. Here's Seiya Suzuki, who he struck out his first time.
Yeah, take a look at what he did to him in his last at bat. Basically challenged him with fastballs. He did mix in 1 slider, stayed away from the split, but basically he overpowered Suzuki, stayed up in the zone. Look for him to attack him the same way. We'll see if Suzuki learned anything as well. Maybe be a little more disciplined. And as I said, I don't know that you're going to catch up to him when he's in the zone high and he throws that hard.
Shohei is sharing. Will Ayrton goes out there to interpret. Dodge pitching coach Mark Prior delivers the message. Teeth of the lineup coming up here for the Cubs. Dodgers ahead 3-0 in the last of the third.
You know, when Mark goes out there, should he have his hand over his mouth, or should Will have his hand over his mouth when he's talking, right?
So back-to-back innings, the Cubs have had a couple runners aboard. Sasaki used a double play last inning to get out of it unscathed. His manager, one of the 13 guys born in Japan to play for the Dodgers. And 2 of the 5 Japanese stars featured in this series, head-to-head right here. Sasaki to Suzuki. In the dirt, 1-0.
That's 3 consecutive splitters, none of which have been in the strike zone. Now, one of them was a strike. He did get a chase. Again, just hasn't been able to land that pitch.
Fastball is hit foul, 1-1. As much raw talent, explosive stuff as anybody. But far from a finished product. Sasaki, he said at his press conference that he was deeply honored so many teams reached out, knowing that he still has so much to work on. And back to one of the big reasons he chose the Dodgers, thinking they were a place that could help him work on those things. Working in some trouble right here. 2 on, 1 out, and a 2-1 to Suzuki. Ball 3.
I mean, as many splitters as he's throwing right now, it kind of indicates that he's not real confident with the fastball. The crazy thing is the Cubs hitters have been swinging at the fastball, whether it's in the zone or just out of the zone. They haven't been able to stay off it.
The bases are loaded. Sasaki issues his 4th walk. And they're loaded ahead of the wrong guy. Kyle Tucker coming up.
Well, just as easy as Sasaki can get himself into trouble, he can get himself out of trouble. Again, he's got the electric stuff. He's 1 pitch away from getting 2 outs and getting back in the dugout.
23 home runs last season for Tucker in just a half season. 29 home runs the year before that. 28-year-old acquired this offseason from Houston. Superstar production for years, and now he's got the role to match it. Headline guy for these Cubs. 1-0 from Sasaki. Shot foul. There you go again. He's struggling to find the zone, but as soon as he pumps a fastball in there, they are going.
They're going, but they haven't been able to catch up to it. And that's the thing. It's if you're Sasaki, let them prove it to you that they can catch up to the fastball. They've been spitting on that splitter.
Do so again. It's not really been close. Dave Roberts is thinking 4 or 5 innings tonight for Sasaki. But the 5 from Yamamoto yesterday. Here he comes with the 2-1. Misses badly. Ball 3. Nowhere to put him. Bases loaded walk has the Cubs on the board. The 3rd walk in a row from Sasaki, and the 5th in 3 innings. Bases still loaded, just 1 away. Michael Busch drew a walk of his own his first time. And the bullpen gets going. That's Luis Garcia. One 1-0 on Busch.
13 hitters so far, 11 times ball 1. That's just, you know, it doesn't matter how great a stuff you have. It's just a tough way to pitch in the big leagues.
Got the call there in the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think if anything, though, coming into tonight, you know, you knew that there were going to be some growing pains, and you know, it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster. Heck, we remember what Yamamoto went through last year.
Back in there and ahead 1-2. The 5 runs that Yamamoto gave up in his major league debut, just 1 inning. That had the pressure of a big league debut, but it lacked the added pressure of it being in front of your country. And the other thing to keep in mind is you can compare Yamamoto and Sasaki in that they both are pitchers that came from Japan, but Yamamoto far more experienced, far more accomplished. As hyped as Sasaki is, he strikes him out with the fastball. Two out.
I mean, I'll say it again, just as easy as he gets himself in trouble, he can get himself out. That's how good his stuff is. You know, it becomes one of those things, too, is he's just got to believe that he's that good.
Easier said than done, though, right?
It is. I mean, the only way you can do that is when you start having some success at this level.
Strike 1 on Shaw. Let it eat. Back up to 99 right there. That's how he wants it.
I mean, that's unfair. It really is. Don't even mess around right now. I mean, I just rear back and good luck. Try and hit it.
Fastball for strike 1, splitter for strike 2. Back to the splitter, taken in the dirt.
Like I said, they haven't caught up to the fastball at all this evening, and the only reason I just not thrilled with the splitter in this situation, you just don't want something getting away from Will.
Bases loaded, 2 away, 1-2. He got him swinging. Back-to-back Ks to limit the damage. World champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. The Smash Jack is back with so much more beef. Dodger traveling party was wondering, going to see any cherry blossoms on this trip? I don't know if they've seen many of those, but they've seen some snow. And they see Will Smith turn the corner with a double on the first pitch of the 4th. Yeah, the snow was falling this morning in Tokyo. Something they say happens a handful of times a year.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I looked out the window. What the heck is that? Snow. Then later on, though, today, you know, relatively nice. Sun was out.
So Sasaki able to get out of that jam without further damage. Walked in a run, but then back-to-back strikeouts, as you said, as fast as he had himself in that issue. Got himself out of it with a pair of Ks. Sales and ball one on Muncy. These two guys, Smith and Muncy, impressive starts. Smith with a double has reached base 6 of his 7 times up in the 2 games. Muncy had the 2 walks yesterday, doubled and scored his first time up today. Steals 2-0. Caught on the missed. Two and two. Pop fly, shallow center. Swanson calling, and the Cubs shortstop makes the catch. Dodgers 3, Cubs 1. Kike Hernandez comes up. Smith is second, 1 away here in the 4th. Justin Steele fires. Inside corner for a strike. Steele, the son of a former Alabama football player. The great-grandson of a Korean War veteran who was stationed in Japan and starred for his base's baseball team. He's a left-handed pitcher here in Japan. And he's in service. John Wesley Steele, 75 years ago, is pitching in Japan. So Justin continuing the family legacy of sports today and also doing it in Japan with a little wink to great-grandpa. Fastball's in there for a strike, 1-2. Backdoor, but just missed. Wanted it. Three strikeouts so far for Steele. He's walked 1. Comes home with a 2-2. Hernandez grounds it along third foul. Dodgers got 2 in the second. Hernandez brought in one of those runs with a sacrifice fly. And then the solo shot from Tommy Edman in the third. Hernandez looking for his first hit of the season here in game 2. On 2-2. Crooks one deep to left field, and his first hit will be a home run. After a homerless first game, the Dodgers have 2 early on here in game 2.
Yeah, no doubter right there. Came off the bat at almost 110 miles an hour. Get it down that left field line. Thought Kike kind of admired it there. Well, he should have.
Way up there. So 5-1 lead. Conforto goes fishing for strike 1. A couple of the postseason stars for the Dodgers and Edman and Kike Hernandez going deep in this game. And Hernandez, one of the favorites on this Dodger roster in this Dodger loving country. Of course, they've got their guys in Ohtani and Yamamoto and now Sasaki, but there are other favorites, and Kike Hernandez near the top of that list. Got the sunflower seed shower. Ball and 2 strikes on Conforto.
Both of those home runs hit with 2 strikes. Dodgers continuing what they did last night. They had 4 2-strike base hits.
Hernandez in his 12th year in the big leagues, his 9th with the Dodgers. 1-year deal, days before spring training. Just keeps on coming back. Tied him up right there. Strike 3, 2 away. Ohtani getting ready for his next at bat. He's 3 hitters away as Miguel Rojas comes up in the 8th spot. Dodgers are these 5 runs tonight without anything from Ohtani, who's 0 for 2. Rojas grounded into a double play his first time and watches a backdoor curve for a strike. Like Hernandez, Rojas, 12 years in the big leagues. 3rd one of his 2nd stint with the Dodgers, career that began in LA and then went away to Miami, where he established himself before getting traded back to LA a couple of years back. Traded for Jacob Amaya, who was a prospect at that point. We know everything that Rojas has meant for the Dodgers. Amaya played in just 4 games for the Marlins. Last year, 1 game for the Astros, and then went to the White Sox to finish, and that's where he'll start this year. Far enough away where you can say won the trade. Try to judge those things sometimes like 2 weeks after the trade deadline.
Right. Yeah.
2-2. Full count.
Dodgers have won a lot of trades. You know, they keep saying if you get a call from Andrew or Brandon Gomes, you better just hang up.
Yeah.
Because you're probably not going to come out on the good end of it.
Send it to voicemail.
That's it.
Used to be just don't pick up, just hit that power button. Payoff. Got him with a high fastball. Back-to-back Ks to finish off this 4th, but a 2-run home run from Kike Hernandez has extended the Dodger lead. In 1995, the whole thing did, but a long legacy of Japanese pitchers in Dodge blue. You can add a name to that list tonight. Roki Sasaki makes his debut, goes 3 innings, pitches around those 5 walks to give up just 1 run. Striking out 3, hands it off to the bullpen. Luis Garcia to Dansby Swanson with ball 1. All right, so a little bit of good, a little bit of bad. But a box checked for Sasaki tonight. Officially a big leaguer.
Yeah, I think it's about what I expected. He saw some jitters, a little bit of wildness, but you also saw some dominance. I thought it was neat to see, you know, when he bases were loaded, he walked in a run, and you know the wheels could have really gone off, and ended up striking out the next 2 hitters. It's going to be a climbing of the ladder. It's going to be a step. You know, it's not going to all of it be, hey, next outing going to be a no-hitter. There's going to be growing pains, but I think by the end of the year, it's going to be quicker than the end of the year. This stuff is crazy good.
Another Dodger debut right here in Garcia, who's ahead of Swanson 1-2. Here he comes. Swanson digs it out in the air to center field for Pages. 1 away. Stephen, you got to watch quite a bit of Sasaki during the WBC run a couple years ago. What'd you think tonight?
Well, yeah, Joe, it was about a couple years ago that Roki made his Samurai Japan debut in the World Baseball Classic right here in this building. So technically tonight, not his first debut in the Tokyo Dome. But in that game against the Czech Republic, 3 2/3 innings, he struck out 8 batters. Tonight, obviously, as you guys just discussed, a little bit different. But you can almost understand. Keep in mind that Shohei Ohtani, after last night's game, told the media, told the world that even he was nervous. The guy that everybody wonders, is he even human? He admitted that he was nervous. So you can only imagine the amount of emotion and nervousness that one Roki Sasaki was feeling here tonight. But the most memorable thing, Joe, about that World Baseball Classic debut a couple years ago rather, against the Czech Republic, is that he hit a Czech batter with a 102-mile-an-hour fastball on the knee, Willie Escala. The next day, Roki sought him out, met him, and bought him 2 massive bags of candy and autographed a baseball as an apology for hitting him on the knee with 101 and change.
0-2 to Crow Armstrong is grounded foul. Can't let that get out. Can't let hitters know that you're a nice guy. Keep that scowl.
I think I'd be like, look, you keep the candy, just don't hit me. Right? Yeah, that's.
Our producer Mike Levy said, "Get real. You take the candy." Swing and a miss. Garcia strikes out Crow Armstrong. You say, no, just don't. Well, okay, let me see what you got. What do you got? Is it good? The Cubs offense searching. They had those walks to generate the run last inning, but only 2 hits their last 10 innings, and both of them were infield hits.
You know, there's a lot of projections that have the Cubs winning 90 games, and I you know, again, it's obviously early, but you've got a kid in Matt Shaw, not to take anything away from Matt, but he's hitting 5th in this lineup. There's a kid that, you know, only 1 year and a half of pro ball, and he's in the big leagues. Asking an awful lot.
Tells you a lot about the division, just wide open, and man, you can make a case for any one of those teams to be the division champ. You can also make a case for just about any one of them to be near the bottom.
Right.
Kelly tops it foul, and Garcia's ahead 1-2. Checked his swing and a pitch in the dirt. Kelly from the Diamondbacks to the Tigers, and now the Cubs. Kind of full circle for him. He was born in Chicago. Grew up a big Cubs fan. Generations of Cubs fans On his dad's side of the family, they had to put all their Cubs stuff away when he got drafted by the Cardinals. But hopefully they didn't throw it away. Dust it off. Garcia to Kelly with a payoff pitch. He lays off, ball 4. Cubs had just 1 walk yesterday. That's the 5th today. Their 6th walk, beg your pardon. And John Birdie comes up, trying to get this turned over to the top of the lineup. Dodgers 5, Cubs 1, last of the 4th. Dodgers hoping to avoid a repeat of Game 2 last year, of Getaway Day from Asia last year. 3 hours and 42 minutes. A 15-11 loss to the Padres. How do you make a trip home from Asia even longer? Play a 4-hour game.
Can't believe you're throwing that out in the universe right now. You must be staying.
Yeah. Smacked up the middle and through. Base hit for Birdie. He's 2 for 2 today. And so they've got a couple runners aboard as it goes back to the top of the order for Happ. What I'm saying is you're due. You're due for a smooth game and easy trip back. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, way to cover yourself there. I like it. So Garcia got himself in a little bit of trouble. That 3-2 pitch goes off speed, ends up walking Kelly, and then Birdie shoots a slider up the middle.
That's the first hit in 6 innings against the Dodger bullpen, or in 5 innings against the Dodger bullpen in the 2 games here. So it's Happ. Fly out and a walk today. A couple walks to go along with the base hit in these 2 games for the longtime Cub, now the longest tenured Cub. 9th year here. 2-0 on him. Going into a steady, consistent player early on in his career. He was the young guy breaking in when that old core was here with Bryant, Rizzo, Baez. Happ breaks in 2017 and had his ups and downs, even got sent down a couple times. But man, oh man, has he been consistent the last few years. And he shoots a base hit to left field. A 2-out rally for the Cubs. Walk, single, single, and it's 5-2 as Happ knocks in his first run of the season. And Pryor out for a visit with Garcia.
Happ doing a nice job just trying to drive in the run, not trying to be the hero there. Ball out over the plate, shoots it the other way, keeps the inning going.
Feels like a great time for a word from Morongo.
Prizes, gifts, giveaways. Celebrate 20 years of good times at Morongo.
38-year-old Luis Garcia here in his Dodger debut. Breezed through the first couple of hitters. Cubs making some noise though here with the bottom of the order getting things started. And now faces Seiya Suzuki representing the tying run. Walk his last time. He's still looking for his first hit here in his return to his home country. Arakawa native, not too far from here at the Tokyo Dome. First pitch, top of the zone for a strike. Record contract for a Japanese position player that Seiya signed a few years back. Earned it with that resume. On 0-1, same pitch, same call, 0-2. be the DH for the Cubs for the most part this year. That's how he finished last year and finished strong. Whole idea is keeping Seiya healthy. And this is a step in that direction, they hope, having him DH. Lays off the high fastball.
Like what they were trying to do right there. Sasaki got him earlier in the ball game, chasing that pitch up in the zone.
Got him to chase. Strike 3. And so Garcia limits the damage to 1 after 4 innings in Tokyo. 5-2 LA. Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Shots from Shohei's hometown of Oshu, Japan. Showed you the bullet train earlier. You can hop on that. In 3 hours, it'll have you up there to the coldest part of the country in Oshu. And you can even go inside to the shrine they have at City Hall. That is an exact replica of Shohei's hand, so anybody can come in and shake his hand and thank him for what he's done. Andy Pages leads off. Nate Pearson with a wicked fastball in there for a strike. It's 9-1-2, so it's Ohtani due up second.
Yeah, Pearson, a four-seam guy and a slider. Mix in the curve once in a while, but basically the hard stuff.
Slider right there gets him ahead of Pages 0-2. Pearson came over mid-season last year, like a lot of these Cubs relievers did. Remade that pen as the season went on and did so effectively. They were the third worst bullpen in the first half, second best in the second half. Buzzes Pages with 100 there. Pearson was with Toronto, came over, made some changes to the pitches that he was throwing, changed where he was setting up on the rubber, and you can see the difference in production. 2-2. Continued to tweak that bullpen this offseason. Added Presley, Brazier, Morgan we saw last night. Ohtani and Edman to follow. Dodgers with 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Pearson to Pages, 2-2. Fastball flame to the outside corner to get him looking. And here comes Shohei. Whole country in awe. All all the phones out, trying to get their own perspective captured right here. First one from Pearson. Ohtani backs off there. Ball one. When he signed his contract last year, he said to himself, I've got to start doing some things to give back a little bit more. 20,000 elementary schools in Japan, and Shohei had this idea. He sent 3 gloves, 2 right-handers, 1 left-hander, to all 20,000 elementary schools. 60,000 gloves, courtesy of Shohei Ohtani. It was like a holiday there. They knew that they were getting these gloves, and kids were coming on the weekend to play with the gloves, knowing that this was a gift from their hero. 1 ball and 2 strikes on him. And he said it made him daydream about his first glove that he got when he was 5. His older brother, who's partially responsible for getting into baseball, gave him a hand-me-down. Worn brown leather glove that he used for years. On this 1-2 from Pearson, Ohtani takes ball 2.
Well, we saw him prior to the game. He was out in the left field corner just tossing balls up to the fans. And everybody just clamoring to hope that they could be on the receiving end.
There's an absolute take. Right center field. It is off the wall. To second goes Ohtani. To home goes Ohtani. It was a home run. I don't know where that ball hit. It seemed like it was headed to the moon. Did it deflect off of some of the awning?
I thought it hit off the Tokyo Series sign, that blue sign.
Which is below the yellow line, so it wouldn't be a home run.
I mean, the crazy thing is when that ball was hit, I didn't think there was even a question. The way it sounded, the way I yelled off the bat, the way you called it.
I'm really hoping this hit a beam or something. I'm just going to go ahead and retire.
Hey, it's early on, right?
Yeah.
You got on me last night about talking over.
You can get on me now. Bill, tell me I'm not terrible at my job. What do you got? Oh, yeah. He hit it to Kyoto. It's off the wall. Okay, man. So the question is it fan interference? And the question is, without the fans, would have it been a home run? And the call on the field being home run may be the key thing here.
After review, the call on the field stands. Home run.
Yeah, like I said, an absolute tank. Ohtani's got his first home run of the season, and it comes in Tokyo. Third of the game for LA, 6-2. Guy that hit the first of those 3 home runs, Tommy Edman, watches ball 1.
Shohei keep it in line with the other 2 home runs hit by Dodgers. Did it again with 2 strikes.
54 of them a season ago, and he's got his first one of his second year in LA.
I mean, we can get on the plane and go home, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like you're looking down your to-do list. Yep, you check, cross that off, cross that off, cross that off. The swing headed for a museum. Strike 3 on Edman. So where does that number go this year? Yeah, everybody's kind of said 50-50 is not happening. There's no way, even if he hits 50 home runs, no way he runs as aggressively now that he's doing the pitching thing, which makes total sense. How high can that home run number go? Ball on Teoscar Hernandez. Teoscar's 0 for 2. Got it off the end of the bat a little bit, and in left field, Happ will put it away, and we're halfway home in this game. Ohtani's home run, the third of the day for the Dodgers, who lead it 6-2. .54 last year. He's got his first one this year. The Dodgers lead 6-2 as they look for a 2-0 start to this season. Joe Davis, Eric Karros, Kirsten Watson, Steven Nelson down in the field. And a Major League debut coming right here. Jack Dreyer out there to pitch. 26-year-old, originally from Salt Lake City, Utah, then Iowa for high school, Iowa Hawkeye for college. And no soft landing. Kyle Tucker greets him with a fly ball to right center field. Andy Pages on the run. No big deal. He's got it. Woo.
Pages has done a nice job. He made a nice catch last night, running one down in the gap. Didn't waste any time right there.
Boy, Dreyer had to cringe and have a chill go down his spine for a second there.
It's 0 for 1, right?
That's it.
Retired Kyle Tucker.
Ho hum. Right down the pipe for a strike on Bush. And for more on the Iowan left-hander, here's Steven.
Yeah, Joe, got the chance to talk with Jack Dreyer before today's game. I was like, Jack, you ready to go today? And he goes, yeah, I'm ready. And I'm like, you don't seem nervous. It's like, nah, I'm good. And I thought to myself, I was like, what could make Jack Dreyer nervous? So I asked him, Jack, is there any truth to the rumor that you are an elite Billy Joel impersonator? And he started laughing because the story goes earlier this spring at Camelback Ranch, some players had to put on a performance. And for Jack, he had the harmonica busted out and he went into Billy Joel's Piano Man. He said, Steven, when I tell you that is the most nervous I've been in my entire life, more than any outing in pro baseball, that was it. And I said, okay, so what about today? If you get in there today for your major league debut, would that top it? And he goes, no. Piano Man. I said, all right, there you go, Jack. Now whenever you get on the bump and it's a high leverage situation, you just say to yourself, Piano Man, and reset yourself and you'll be good to go. He looks good to go.
Love it. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Bush. Got him swinging, and he's got his first major league strikeout. And there's Ohtani hitting a home run. You never see it too many times. Never a bad time for it.
Jack Dreyer just got his first major league strikeout. We're going to show Ohtani hitting another home run here.
And pretending to be his dog. 2 away, Matt Shaw. And a curve in there for a strike from Dreyer. Shaw looking for that first big league hit. 0 for 6, 3 Ks so far. 9-0-1. Fouls off this fastball.
You know what's crazy about this game, the game of baseball, is we saw Dreyer come in. It's his first pitch. Tucker hits it deep in the gap. Pages catches it. If he doesn't catch that, there's a guy on second going like, oh my goodness, here I am. And things can go a completely different route. But here he's 1 pitch away from having a 1-2-3 inning.
Off his glove. Shaw's got an infield hit for his first big league knock. Save that ball for Matt Shaw. That's how he dreamt about it, right? Laid there, and I'm going to make it to the big leagues. First hit. Little blinker off the pitcher's glove. Is that big leg kick going to be a problem?
Look at the way he's got that front foot turned in, and he's got the leg kick. I mean, there's just a lot of room for error.
He says that it's always kind of been the natural thing for him. He's done it his whole baseball life. And will vary it some, but it's always relatively big. Swanson on 0-1 takes a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike.
So when you and I look at it, we're just going like, holy cow, that's a lot going on. But as you just mentioned, that's normal for him. That's what's comfortable, and at the end of the day, that's what you're looking for when you're in that batter's box. Comfort.
Matt's from Massachusetts. College ball in Maryland. 5'9", 185 pounds. When he was in high school, he was kind of what you would expect, contact hitter. By the time he left Maryland, he was the program's all-time leading home run hitter. So college pitchers did not expose that big leg kick. Turned it into a power leg kick. Drafted by the Cubs in the first round less than 2 years ago. Dreyer looking for a scoreless debut. His 1-2 to Dansby Swanson will come after a toss over. Good pick there by Hernandez. Now the 1-2. Ripped down the line. That is a fair ball, and it skips to the wall. Conforto to the track to grab it. Shaw rounds third and heads home. Here's the relay. It's high. Dreyer fires down to third, not in time, and an RBI double from Dansby Swanson.
Swanson shoots this thing into the corner. Shaw running all the way. Never a doubt. You know, just as we were talking about, you know, just 1 pitch away, and you know, now he's kicking himself because that was a ball right back to him. Could have been out of the inning, sitting in there, and now he's thinking, oh, geez. That's what's so tough about this game.
Yeah, right back to what you were saying on the flip side of it. Pages runs down that ball to start the inning. And
right. I mean, this game is so difficult to play mentally because it can just mess with you all day long. Start thinking about, like, what if this, what if that. You just got to stay present. Approach what's in front of you.
Swanson at third, 2 away. Cubs trying to chip away here. Pete Crow Armstrong fouls this off. 0-2. Pete's 0 for 2 in this game. He's 0 for 5 in the 2 games in Tokyo. We mentioned yesterday that the fans here seem to really like Pete. They were chanting PCA in his first at-bats during the exhibition games. He said, "No way." And said that it was the coolest thing that's happened to him in his baseball life. He's lived a pretty cool baseball life. This is a first-round draft pick. Starred at Harvard Westlake. Down an 0-2 from Dreyer. Fights it off. Good hitter with runners in scoring position as a rookie. Has one here. 2 gone in the 5th. And fouls it again. That fastball from Jack Dreyer, it's not going to break the radar gun, but has that rising illusion to hitters. Statistically, when you look at the data on the spin that leads to that kind of illusion, it's like 99th percentile in baseball. Tries it again and spins this one outside. Fly to right field. Tasker Hernandez will put an end to this 5th. They get one against Dreyer, who's a big leaguer after 5. 6-3 game.
When your world champion Dodgers receive their World Series rings in a special pregame ceremony. Visit Dodgers.com/tickets for more information.
Well, on a scheduling quirk, you got these 2 regular season games. They fly home after this. Then they play 3 spring training games against the Angels before starting that series against the Tigers. Home opener next Thursday, with a little break for those Angels games in the middle. Caleb Thielbar, the new pitcher for the Cubs, drops in a curve for a strike on Will Smith. Thielbar trying to do something the Cubs are having a hard time doing, and that is retire Smith, who's reached in 5 consecutive plate appearances. Today a double and a walk, and has scored both times. We've mentioned this a couple times, but good for him to get off to a nice start here, putting last year behind him. On this 1-1, it's curve and it's pulled left side. Stabbed by Shaw. Sets and throws and gets him.
And nice play by Shaw. He gathered himself this evening last night with Rojas up at the plate. A very similar type play. Rojas, he just spun and threw it up the first baseline. This time gathered himself, got set, made a much more accurate throw.
One away from Muncy. Takes inside for a ball from Thielbar. Thielbar, 38 years old. Got to the majors with the Twins in 2013. Pitched parts of a few seasons for the Twins. Then goes away, spends 2 years in indie ball, 2 years in AAA, back in affiliated ball, before getting back to the major leagues with the Twins in 2020 and sticking for the first time 5 years after it looked like it had finished. 2-1 on Muncy. Was stuck with the Twins the last few years. Comes over to the Cubs on a 1-year contract as they continue to refine that bullpen. Something that went on for a lot of last year. Here's his 2-1 pitch. To the bottom of the zone. 2-2. Big breaking pitch gets him swinging. 2 up and 2 down in the 6th inning. Here's Kike Hernandez, who's knocked in 3 tonight. He's got his first home run of the year, and it was a no-doubter.
Yeah, absolutely massacred that ball. 110 miles an hour. Just turned on that thing, and he enjoyed it.
Strike one from Thielbar. Dave Roberts was talking about Kike Hernandez yesterday. He said not many people have the ability to be a jokester and the life of the party, but then also in the biggest moments, right at the top of the list of guys that you most count on.
Certainly is a unique combination. Again, when you say it, because again, he keeps everybody loose, but when it's time to play, no messing around.
15 career postseason home runs after the 2 that he hit last year. He's got a postseason career line that's almost identical to Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. And the increase in Kike's slugging percentage from the regular season to the postseason is the biggest of any player in Major League history. On this 1-2, takes in the dirt, and it goes 2-2. It's interesting, last year without the injuries to Freddie Freeman and Miguel Rojas, he might not even get a chance to do what he wound up doing again. Foul ground, first base side. Kelly's got room. And Caleb Thielbar's first inning as a Cub is 1-2-3. World champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa, celebrating 20 years of good times. Well, it's not hyperbole to say none of this happens. None of this is possible without that guy right there, Hideo Nomo. It had been 30 years since there was a big leaguer that came from Japan. Back to Masanori Murakami in the 1960s, before Nomo found a loophole in the contract that was in place that allowed him to do what seemed like technically couldn't be done. That is go from Japan to the big leagues. Landon Knack's in there now. Ahead 0-2 on Carson Kelly. And Nomo comes over and doesn't just pitch well, wins Rookie of the Year at an important time for baseball too, because this was coming out of the lockout where he infused a lot of excitement into the game, certainly in Los Angeles. And you had a front row seat for Nomo Mania.
Yeah, he was called the Tornado because of his windup, and I think more than anything, you know, he had the weight of a country on his shoulders, and how he did or didn't do was really going to be the precursor to, are more players going to have the opportunity from Japan to come over? And I'll tell you what, he was probably one of the most competitive, dependable teammates that I ever played alongside. This guy's arm could be hanging by a thread, and he was taking the ball and going out on the mound. I mean, he was incredible to play behind. And again, one of the rarest feats, and something that I still don't think will ever be duplicated, threw a no-hitter in Colorado.
Out of bounds up the middle. There's Rojas to get Kelly. The Rookie of the Year in '95, the no-hitter in '96, and then he dealt with some injuries, went away to a couple other teams before coming back to the Dodgers. And second life for a couple years, he was as good as any pitcher in the league in that return.
Yeah, he really was. And you know, just again, I think more than anything, the mileage got to him, and yes, the age, but the competitiveness always was top notch. You know, besides that no-hitter he threw in Colorado, he also threw one at Camden Yards, which, you know, now it's not the hitter-friendly park that it once was, but talk about a no-hitter in each one of those ballparks.
Yeah. That unmistakable delivery that you talked about, developed that daily games to catch with his dad as a way, first of all, to throw as hard as he possibly could, but then just to impress his dad. And back then, anything against ordinary, down the middle, vanilla was frowned upon in Japan. And so he had a bunch of coaches tell him, you know, what are you doing? That's not how you pitch. That's a base hit up the middle, and John Birdie's third of the game out of the 9 spot. But he resisted, refused to conform in so many ways, refused to say, yeah, I'll pitch that way, refused to say, oh, I can't go to the big leagues, I'm not even going to consider it. He said, no, this is how I pitch, don't change me. And he said, that's where I dream of going, don't tell me I can't. And because he did, so did Ichiro, so did Hideki Matsui, so did all these Japanese big leaguers that have followed. Of course, Ohtani, Yamamoto, Sasaki, a couple Cubs from Japan featured in this series, and Imanaga, Suzuki. None of it happens without Nomo finding a way. Taking a look at Ian Happ's night, hitting a walk, knocked in a run. On this 0-1 from Landon Knack. Happ pops it up. See if Muncy's got room. Near the sidewall. He reaches and makes the catch. No catch.
Hey, you're locked in.
I'm 0 for 2.
But see, we got those Angel games, so this, like, it's weird. It's weird for us as well. I'll be honest, from up here, I thought he had it too. No, he didn't even get glove on it.
I wasn't wrong when I said he makes the catch. It was Rodney Pete.
Was that Rodney?
Yeah. So I wasn't lying. He made the catch.
That's right. You didn't say who.
Yeah.
I like it. Semantics. Here's Rodney. Yeah. Played a little third base and shortstop against him when he was at SC. Obviously, great quarterback as well.
Swing and a miss by Happ and a strikeout for Knack. One of Rodney's kids lives in Tokyo. Yep. So good excuse to come over here and watch these games. 2 gone, 6th inning, 6-3 game. Suzuki's up there. He's been up there with runners aboard 2 of his 3 times tonight. 2 strikeouts and a walk. 0 for 6 total. Watches one drop low, lays off. Seiya's been honing his swing since he was in 2nd grade. Bat was too heavy, though, to take as many swings as he wanted to. And so his Little League coach got him this lighter aluminum stick, basically, and had him practice hitting baseballs, or hitting golf balls. Knack delivers 1-1. Suzuki chops it foul. Strike 2. Ground ball. Max Muncy goes to 2nd, wide throw, but a nice pluck right there by Tommy Edman to save the day. Rodney Peete makes the catch.
Out as we celebrate your world champion LA Dodgers with exciting giveaways, special events, and much more. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Julian Merryweather's on to pitch for the Cubs. Bottom of the order coming up for the Dodgers in a 6-3 game into the late innings here in Tokyo. Dodgers 4-1 winners yesterday and trying to start this season 2-0. Ball 1 on Conforto. Has a hit in both games. A surprise starter in the first game. Freddie Freeman injured. A couple games against left-handed pitchers. Got a hit against both, or in both. On this 1-1, Conforto takes inside, ball 2. So Hideo Nomo started the pipeline for the Dodgers. Across baseball, though, the pipeline Japan to the big leagues started 30 years before that. And it was kind of an accident. We've mentioned the name Masanori Murakami. It was 1964. And Murakami was one of 3 minor leaguers sent from Japan to train with the Giants, just to train and learn and then go back and take what they learned and hopefully succeed over here professionally in Japan. But Murakami, who had just turned 20, was really good in A-ball. So they said, well, let's send him up and see how he does in AA. Really good in AA. Sent him up to AAA. By the end of the season, Murakami was in the big leagues with the Giants. But he pitched just 2 years for San Francisco because a couple reasons. There was pressure from his family to come back here. He was the only son in his family. Culturally, he felt obligated to be here. Conforto with a leadoff walk. And then there was this stalemate that happened where the San Francisco Giants thought that he belonged to them. They had signed him to this contract. He's ours now. But the Japanese baseball world saying, no, that's not how it works. We sent him over there to train. Just because you called him up doesn't mean you get to keep him now. And the bad feelings that came from that contributed, number one, to him staying over here and not returning to the big leagues. And Rojas bunts it foul. Number two, it led to the contract that meant it would be 30 years before there'd be another player going from Japan to the big leagues. And it meant Hideo Nomo had to find that loophole that we're talking about. But Masanori Murakami, the first. 0-1 to Rojas. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Some disappointment from the crowd that Rojas couldn't get the bunt down. They love a sacrifice bunt here. A few years back when the all-time sacrifice bunt record was set, actually here at the Tokyo Dome, they stopped the game and had this huge ceremony as if they had just broken the home run record. They were, you know, they brought out flowers. They brought his family down to the field. The all-time sack bunt champion.
And that's just about been eliminated in our game domestically, right? It just don't give away outs.
Smack to second. There's one. Wide throw, but Bush holds the bag, and there's two.
Yeah, Miggy deserved better there. Hit that ball hard. That's the second double play he's hit into tonight.
Ohtani waits on deck. Pages comes up. This hot shot, twin killing. Goes after a first pitch fastball, dumps it back. Pages, after 2 walks yesterday, 2 Ks today. Nothing in 2.
He's made some nice defensive plays out in center field. Run down 2 balls in the right center field gap.
Outfield defense, if you're trying to nitpick the roster, probably where the weakest spot is. So the more he can improve there, the more plays like that he can make, the better. Two and two on him. Digs it out, sends it to the gap in right center field. Cut off by Crow Armstrong. Guns to second, not in time. Pages a 2-out double. And another 2-strike hit for LA. And another 2-out situation where Pages gets Ohtani up there. Last time he was up, he left the yard. just enough. Initially ruled a home run. It went to review, and it stood. What you hear from the crowd is they're getting it. He's intentionally walked, and they're saying, "You can't do that to us."
The Chicago Cubs support in Japan has even dropped more.
Yeah, I think I just saw a guy rip off his Kosuke Fukudome jersey.
Right.
He's now shirtless, painting the 17 on his chest. First and second, 2 away. They'll take their chances with Tommy Edman. Diving stop by Matt Shaw to save a run. He's played some nice defense over there tonight. Shaw takes a hit away and an RBI away from Edman.
Join us for an historical day on Friday, March 28th, when your world champion Dodgers receive their World Series rings in a special pregame ceremony. Visit Dodgers.com/tickets for more information.
Landon Knack, 7th pitcher the Dodgers have used out of the bullpen in these 2 games. First one to go more than an inning. Outside with the first pitch to Kyle Tucker. It's the Dodgers 6, the Cubs 3 in the bottom of the 7th. Haven't talked about Landon much yet. Broke in last season, and for a while he was the surest thing in that rotation as guys were dropping like flies with injuries. Knack held it together for a good chunk of the season. (2-0) to Kyle Tucker. Sails high, ball 3.
On most big league teams, he's a 4 or 5, getting an opportunity. You know, this year, just because the Dodgers are so darn deep, going to kind of be a Swiss Army. Probably come out of the bullpen, get some starts.
3-0 green light. Landon Knack says thank you for that, Kyle Tucker, and it's caught by Kike Hernandez. One away from Michael Busch. Busch walked his first time. He struck out twice since. Former first-round pick of the Dodgers, top hitting prospect. Nice looking changeup right there from Knack. Busch last year as a rookie, 6 games against the Dodgers. It was as if he took that trade personally. 2 home runs, 4 doubles, 8 batted in 6 games.
Back-to-back changeups. I almost feel like you got to throw a fastball out of the zone right here. Went back to it. 3 changeups.
Kirsch would say it can't be another one.
Can't be another one, right? Yeah.
Hey, happy birthday, Clayton Kershaw, by the way. We dropped the ball not wishing him that last night when he was in here with us.
What is he? 30? Do we know?
8.
38. That's crazy.
Wraps around the plate. 3-2. Continues his rehab, but he's been able to enjoy a nice family trip out of this too, like the whole crew. Oh, I said 38, 37. I aged it.
Just kind of goes along with the night, Joe.
Yeah. Jeez, man. You're burying me.
Third baseman, Matt Shaw.
The 2 gone in the 7th inning. And up comes Matt Shaw. Got the call there in the corner.
God, Mac looks good. Been throwing that changeup real effective.
Throws it again and strikes him out. He's saying, I see all these splitters. I'm going to throw my off-speed pitch and make it dance a little bit. Story tonight, Roki Sasaki making his major league debut. 5 walks, not what you want, but flashed some really dynamic stuff, had 3 Ks, and ultimately gave up just 1 run over those 3 innings.
Yeah, I think, you know, he showed when the bases were loaded and he had walked in a run. I thought that's where the wheels could have really gone off the rails, and he didn't. He came back and struck out the next 2 hitters, and I think there was some growth right there. And that's what you just want to see in each of these starts. The finished product is a ways away.
Teoscar Hernandez leading off this inning against Porter Hodge. On the chopper left side, Matt Shaw will get him. Next start for Sasaki will come on that opening homestand against either the Tigers or the Atlanta Braves to open the year. Porter Hodge was one of the big finds last year, out of the middle of nowhere to put up those numbers. A 1.88 ERA, and the 1.32 average against was the best in the National League. One This out of the middle of nowhere. This was a 13th round draft pick. Here's 1-0 to Will Smith. Inside, ball 2. Walking a double for Smith. Couple runs scored today. On base 6 times in these 2 games. So yet another good start for him. And hoping to sustain it this year. It's the #1 swing and miss sweeper in baseball. Two and two. Saw his persona Dodger Stadium last year. Remember, he so intense at one point. He hyperventilating. Training staff had to come out and went down to a knee and paused the game for a few until he was able to recover. But looks the part of a back end bullpen guy. Fires 3-2. Smith is on again. 5 walks in 2 games. And now Muncy.
Max Muncy.
Kirby Yates. I think everybody's debuting tonight.
He gets in. That's everybody? I mean, in the 2 days, right? I think that's everybody on the oh no, Vesia.
And Sauer was activated today.
That's right.
Bouncing ball right side. Birdie with a diving stop to get Muncy. And Birdie, the throwing error aside yesterday, making a nice first impression for the Cubs.
He really has. Nice defensive play. You mentioned earlier, too, the offense of the evening so far for the young man. I shouldn't say young man, but
old man.
Old man, yeah. Medium age guy.
Medium man.
That's medium.
35 is what he is.
I'm locked in.
Yeah, Smith in the scoring position. Kike Hernandez up, takes high. So the Dodgers and Cubs wrapping up this series. So head back afterwards. And the Dodgers, a little more than a week. Welcoming the Tigers. Opening day at Dodger Stadium next Thursday. 1 ball, 1 strike on Hernandez.
That's going to be some pitching. That Detroit series,
yes.
You're going to get the chance to see Skubal. Oh,
and then good chance to see Jack Flaherty as well.
Flaherty.
Glasnow and Snell figure to get the first 2 games there for the Dodgers. It's like, oh yeah, those guys too.
I mean, that's.
Dodgers have 6 off days over the first month. And so while there was some talk about a 6-man rotation right from the start, they figured that they can avoid that. Now, they may at some point have to have something that resembles a 6-man just because Ohtani has slowed things down for his return. Hernandez down on the high fastball. And that does it for the Dodgers in the top of the 8th. One of the sights that you got to see, Shibuya Crossing. I'm assuming you saw it. Did you go?
I saw it. Yes, I did.
Did you go do it?
I went in the crosswalk, and I was trying to take a selfie of myself, and cars started coming.
Shocking.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
You've been vlogging this whole trip. It's like everywhere we go, he's like, hey, it's EK. I'm in Tokyo. Subscribe below.
Tokyo.
Yeah, we have too many syllables.
I learned it's two syllables from our Japanese interpreter, Steven Nelson.
Dodgers trying to go 2-0 on this trip, and even coming into the games, the team was talking about how galvanizing a trip like this can be and what kind of memories they'll take from it.
Well, I think from a baseball perspective, it's been outstanding, right? They've come out, they played crisp baseball. From a bonding standpoint, you talk about that dinner that Shohei provided for the players, and they saw things that they'd never seen before. The big tuna that they brought in, and I don't know what the word is, but they butchered that thing and then ate it, right?
Sushi'd him.
Yeah, they sushi'd it.
0-2 on Dansby Swanson. This is Kirby Yates making his Dodger debut here. Who had the best ERA in baseball last year? Kirby Yates. A 1.17 for the Texas Rangers. And that is the pitch right there. Yes, it's another guy who's got a splitter. And for Yates, it gave him a career. 147 average against that pitch throughout his career.
He was telling us the other day that he was with the Angels and they didn't want him to throw it anymore. Ends up going to the Padres and saying, no, throw it as much as you want. Just kind of resurrected things, and here we are.
Strikes out Swanson. Even before he had the splitter, the fastball, it's never been high 90s, but he's always been able to command a fastball. And I don't know how many times you've heard Oral say that's the thing, right? If you can pick one thing, that fastball command, that's something Kirby Yates has always had, still has, on the verge of turning 38. But he's added that dynamite splitter to the equation and been one of the top relievers in baseball when he's been healthy the last few years. Pete Crow Armstrong, ball one. So Kirby was undrafted. First 4 years in the majors, which, hey, you get 4 years in the majors when you're undrafted, say no more, and it's already impressive. But first 4 years, he had a 5 ERA, bounced around 5 different organizations. Age 30, just barely hanging on, gets that chance you're talking about in San Diego with a team that was 20 games below 500. So it was the perfect place for him to experiment. And like you said, they encouraged him, if you want to try that splitter, go ahead and throw it. And said he vividly remembers a game against the Rockies where they're way out of the standings. So he's just trying to toy with stuff. Threw a couple of them and said those were pretty good. And then he started getting swings and misses on pitches that he didn't feel were very good at all, and went back and watched on video and said, I think I got something here. The next year, he was the top reliever in baseball. 2019, 41 saves for the Padres and was an all-star. Here's his 2-2. Strikes him out. Back-to-back Ks. One on the fastball, one on the splitter.
It's just kind of crazy how Yates went after him there. He dotted some fastballs as far as location and then puts him away with the splitter. Last year in 24, against the fastball, hitters hit 113. Against the splitter, 114.
It's a fastball by Kelly. An 11th year for Kirby Yates. A career that at several different points looked like it had no business continuing. He finally makes it 18 and 19 in San Diego, and then his elbow gives out and he misses almost 3 full years. Comes back again I mean, we talk about him last year having the best ERA in the majors. That's skipping way to the end of a crazy story. It's had so many very highs and so many very lows. Comes as 2-1 to Kelly. Base hit to left field. Past the diving Muncy. Kelly's first hit as a Cub keeps this 8th inning alive.
Well, this is a guy they've got to retire. You don't want to turn the lineup over, bring the tying run to the plate.
Now with the bottom 2 in the order, reaching tonight 5 of their 7 times up. Between Kelly and Birdie, who is 3 for 3. Yeah, and swings and misses. Been 9 swings against Yates, 7 misses. The feel of that splitter will come and go, as with any pitch, but Kirby feeling really confident about where he is coming out of spring training. And sometimes you reach the end of spring training and whatever makes you use not right yet. Guys will tell you that's a scary feeling going into the pressure of the season, not feeling like you're where you need to be. But he was excited to get out there and pitch, given how good the splitter was feeling. Although he says that he hates knowing when he's going to pitch, and he kind of knew he was going to pitch tonight, given who they used last night. You don't want too much time to think about it, he said. This 2-1, this one on and miss. And you're getting a glimpse into how he does what he does. I mean, it's 93. It doesn't look impressive, but it's right where he wants it. And it's always moving a little bit, just enough. Here's Yates 2-2. Count is full. Runner goes with a 3-2, and it's fouled off of the glove. He stays alive. 3-2 pitch again. We saw all kinds of options down there for Dave Roberts, not just good options, but closing options. Fully healthy when you've got Kopech and Phillips. 96 saves combined between the 7 relievers they'll have down there. Popped into right. Tommy Edman ends a scoreless debut inning for Kirby Yates in Dodger blue. Dodgers 6, Cubs 3 after they took the first game 4-1 last night, trying to make it a Tokyo sweep. Biggest city in the world, 37 million people here. All eyes on the Tokyo Dome, where these two teams open the Major League Baseball season. And Ryan Presley comes on to pitch for the Cubs, his Cubs debut over from the Houston Astros. Where for years, he's been one of the top relievers in baseball. Bottom of the Dodge order coming up, Conforto, Rojas, and Pages. Conforto, single and a walk today. Bounces the first pitch that he sees. DeBerti at second. One pitch, one out in the ninth. Kirsten, Steven, how has Japan treated you guys, and how are you going to remember this trip?
Joe, it has been one of the best experiences, I think, of our entire lives. And my favorite part personally has been just experiencing it through our players' eyes and really through the stars. To be able to say that you have gone to the city of Tokyo, to this country of Japan with Shohei Ohtani, Roki Sasaki, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, to experience it through them and seeing the fandom and the passion that's here, I think that's something I'll truly never forget. What about you, Steven?
Well, obviously there's some personal bias in there as well, but just kind of taking a step back from that, it's been an absolute whirlwind. And Joe, as you told so eloquently, we don't get here without the tornado. And Hideo Nomo, with the 30th anniversary of his historic debut, it was poetic and really appropriate to have the Dodgers help kick off this season in Japan. It's a baseball-obsessed country. We know that. The red rising sun, but we have seen this week how much it bleeds blue. Now, geographically and culturally, the United States and Japan, worlds apart, but united through this pastime. So it's just been a beautiful reminder of that being here this week, and I think we're all lucky to have experienced it together.
And guys, great stuff there. We're seeing a snapshot into how smart these baseball fans are. What they're seeing right here is a chance to get another look at Ohtani, because with the bottom of the order up, they needed somebody to reach base here, and they just had Rojas. Now they're saying Andy Pages, if you hit into a double play, you are never allowed back in our country.
I mean, it's crazy because Shohei wasn't on deck and they were cheering. Right? Oh, yeah. They were already looking ahead.
Ball one. Shohei with a home run. 2 hits yesterday, the only guy with a multi-hit game. And then he delivers a home run for him tonight. How do you, don't you dare.
Do not try to get an out.
You're saying, Miggy, that lead's pretty healthy over there. Slow your roll. 2-0 on Pages. Hoping and praying for one last look. (2-0). Checked his swing. Ball 3. 7 straight misses from Presley.
Think Pages has a green light?
No. Inside corner for a strike. For a moment, the rising sun is a big red light. 3-1 now. Presley to Pages. There's ball 4. And here's the curtain call.
Do you think he's going out there talking about a game plan, or do you think the first question is Dude, what are you doing? Just walked 2 guys with Shohei lurking.
Ryan Press is saying, I'm a baseball fan, bro. They love him some Thunderstruck here at the Tokyo Dome. Can Ohtani meet the moment again? Everybody's a fan right now. Even Roki Sasaki top stepping it over there in the dugout. Eyes wide. Ohtani takes in the dirt, ball 1. Now they turn their focus on Presley. Get the ball over the plate, man. We want one last memory in this week full of them. The 1-0 pitch from Presley to Shohei Ohtani. Downstairs for ball 2. Only 2 strikes out of the 12 pitches from Presley. Shohei, pretty sure is human. You know that he's got his mind on hitting this ball a mile. 2-0. Showed his hand. Now the 2-1. Ohtani takes ball 3. Does he get one to hit? We get the sense that if he does. No, walked him. They'll settle for the walk. 3rd time that Ohtani's been on base today. 5 times in the 2 games. Off to a nice start to this 2025 campaign. And they get a chance to really tear this game open. 6-3, bases loaded for Edman. Now the fans will just hunt for a long rally here. Get it back to Ohtani. Pitch clock violation. Presley's having a heck of a time.
He's locked in, isn't he?
So it starts 1-0 on Edman. He's got his first home run of the season tonight. Now Craig Counsell comes out. Good chat with the home plate umpire, Alan Porter.
Yep.
All right, so he said no violation. So no count. But nowhere to put Tommy Edman. Grounds the first one to second. Birdie to second one. Swanson to first. They turn 2 and get out of the bases loaded jam to keep within striking distance to the bottom of the 9th. EDM music pumping here in the Tokyo Dome. The perfect soundtrack for this high energy ball of energy. Alex Vesia on looking for the save in his 6-3 game to the bottom of the 9th.
See those numbers, outstanding. That 1.76 ERA. Last year, the fastball 165 average against, the slider 106.
And so you go, EK, from Kirby Yates, who led the majors last year with a 113 average against, Alex Vesia, that 148 average against, second in baseball behind Yates. He's going to have his hands full, though. Top of the order coming up for the Cubs. That's Happ, Suzuki, and Tucker. And the bullpen has done it again the last few innings. A couple scoreless innings from Knack, and then Yates, a scoreless debut. Vesia trying to close it out, finish off a 2-game sweep over the Cubs to open the year. On the first pitch, a pop-up, foul ground, right side. Will Smith is there, and 1 pitch, 1 out in the 9th. Vesia storms back to the mound as Suzuki strides to the plate. Now the fans cheering Suzuki on, urging him to get his first hit and what may be his last chance. Ohtani's done his part. Yamamoto did last night. Sasaki really just by showing up did. Debuting in the majors. Suzuki 0 for 7 in the 2 games. A high fastball for a strike. Higher fastball. 1-1. Alex Vesia coming off his best season. He had a 4.35 ERA 2 years ago, got sent down. Last year, 176 in the regular season. Oh, filthy, huh?
How about that swing?
Followed the best regular season with 7 games in the postseason. Did not give up a run. He's home with a 1-2 to Suzuki. This time Suzuki lays off. The 7 games, no runs, even though he missed the National League Championship Series with a core injury. He thought there was no chance he could come back, but did for the World Series. His 2-2 is fouled off.
Well, what makes him so valuable, too, is basically he's neutral. He can get lefties and righties out. And that's why him coming back late in the postseason was so important.
Another 2-2. Just high. He said if it was the regular season, he probably misses month plus with the kind of injury that he had. His payoff. Fouled off. Suzuki up there battling against Vesia. Tucker on deck. 8th pitch coming here. Punch foul. There'll be a 9th. Most of the long at-bats have belonged to Dodger hitters in these 2 games. Suzuki really making Vesia work here. On the 9th pitch, Suzuki is down on strikes. And the Cubs are down to their last out.
I mean, Vesia is pitching like this is a 7th game in the World Series, right?
Often does.
I'm not sure he remembers we got 3 spring training games against the Angels coming up.
Right. Meanwhile, the steady golf clap from Shohei. Up to Kyle Tucker. Got a fastball by him. Here's the reaction. Dodgers win the pennant. 0-1. Fastball's never 97, 98, but it's one of those fastballs like we've talked about with a few guys like Jack Dreyer. High spin. Just doesn't drop it all. Guys swing under it. Fires 1-1. Tucker fouls it off, and the Cubs down to their last strike. Alex does everything he can to accentuate that spin on the fastball to make it have that rising illusion to the hitter. Here he comes with a 1-2 pitch. Pop fly down the line. Muncy's over. Look out for Rodney Peete. Stays at 1-2. Japan hosted the Dodgers, and these guys here, Ohtani, Sasaki, Yamamoto, in a lot of ways hosted their teammates. Another 1-2 pitch. Starting their title defense here in Tokyo. Drilled to left center field. Conforto's back at the wall. It bangs off it. And Kyle Tucker has his first hit as a Cub. A ringing double with the Cubs down to their last strike here.
Good job at Tucker going with it. Again, he was a guy that last year, if he would have stayed healthy, he would have been in that MVP conversation.
Yeah, finished second to Judge in OPS. It's kept this game alive for Justin Turner, who will pinch hit for Michael Busch. Be somewhat of a platoon between those guys at first base this year. Vesia to Turner. Strike one. Turner trying to keep things alive for Shaw. One of the great Dodgers of this generation, almost a decade in Dodger blue, Justin Turner. On this 0-1, he leaves it high. Dodgers today, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. Turner takes it high and away. Cubs got single runs in the third, the fourth, and the fifth. Actually out hitting the Dodgers in this game 8-7. The Dodgers out homering the Cubs 3-0. Now a 2-1. Ball 3. Vesia's lost a little bit here. 3 balls and a strike on Turner. Vesia got a strike away against Tucker. Doubled off of the wall. Now pinch hitting Turner to 3-1. Here comes the Dodger lefty. Ball 4, and the Cubs get the tying run to the plate. Necessitates a visit from Pryor. Here's Shaw.
Yeah, have the youngster coming up to the plate. We talked about it a little earlier at this Cubs lineup, right in the middle of it, that 5th spot. You're putting a kid that getting his first big league at bats this year. Really asking a lot, but here you go. He's going to get tested right now.
pinch runner over at first. Vidal Brujan pinch running for Turner. And Shaw coming to the plate. Got big time pop. Not a big guy, but can hit it hard. Alex Vesia trying to get to the finish line here. Champions Hours in Los Angeles. Sun coming up shortly. You join us with a nice cup of coffee. Get your workday started. Dodgers an out away from starting this season 2-0, sweeping this trip here to Tokyo. Here we go. Tying run at the plate. Vesia throws. Shaw takes a strike. Started him with a breaking ball. Shaw 1 for 4. First big league hit. It was an infield single. Now to 0-1. Bounces one left side. Backhand Rojas. Long throw to finish the job. The Dodgers sweep the Cubs to open 2025 in Tokyo. Shaw saying hang on. The Cubs going to be sure. No challenge. Game over. Series over. Season started.
Really a nice showing by the Dodgers and everything that we could have expected from Yamamoto, Ohtani, Sasaki. Really the right way to get this season going. Dodgers playing clean baseball, coming back to the States. 2-0. That 162-0 still in play.
On pace for it even. Pitching steals the show. They give up just 4 runs in the 18 innings. The bullpen, 10 innings of work, 9 different pitchers. Only 2 runs allowed. 4-1 in the first game, 6-3 here in game 2. Vera Caro, Steven Nelson, Kirsten Watson, Joe Davis saying so long from Tokyo. We'll talk to you back in the States. Opening day from home next Thursday.